Chag Sameach, a good moed and a moed l'mesimcha, lanu l'chol Yisrael, especially to the broader Sha'alvim family. I have a special schus Baruch Hashem of sharing some Divrei Torah from our sukkah. I wanted to share a thought concerning the Arbat HaMinim. Of course, one of the major aspects of this mitzvah, even though the Gemara tells us that one is technically yotzei just by taking them without doing any other action, but of course, lechatchila, the proper practice, and many Rishonim even seem to imply that this is a lechatchila min haTorah, that's a biblical ideal way to fulfill the mitzvah, that we don't just take it, we actually wave it. We wave it to the four directions, as well as up and down. The Gemara in Sukkah tells us from different Amoraim that there are two main reasons why we wave the species to the different directions up and down. One is to demonstrate that Hashem Yisbarach is in control of the entire world. The four Ruchot, Ha'olam, Mizrach, Ma'arav, Tzafon, and Darom, and of course, Shemayim and Aretz. The other reason given is that by waving it up and down, we are praying to HaKadosh Baruch Hu that there be good rains and good tal, and not chas v'shalom the opposite, and the chas v'shalom shouldn't be a drought. And by waving it to the four directions, we are praying that there should be good ruchot, good winds, and not the opposite, to encourage crop development. So B'ezrat Hashem, we should have proper parnasah. If we take this Gemara and we put it together with another Mishnah that tells us that ideally the Arbat HaMinim are waved during the focal points of Hallel. One point that everyone agrees to is to wave it at Hodel Hashem Ki Tov Kol Chasto, and the other point in Hallel that is debated as to exactly where, between Beit Shammai and Beit Hillel, is at Ona Hashem Oshiana, or perhaps also at Ona Hashem Hatzlichana. So it's possible to put these two Gemaros together and develop a theme in terms of one of the myriad aspects in terms of why we wave them, is that there are two things we're trying to accomplish by waving the Arbat HaMinim. One is to praise HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and one is to pray to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. There are different aspects of tefillah. As we know, the Shmon Esrei is broken up into three sections: Shevach, Bakasha, and Hoda'ah. There's praise of Hashem Yisbarach, there's expressing thanks to Hashem Yisbarach, and of course there's prayer to Hashem Yisbarach, that which occupies the lion's share of the brachos, at least in the weekday Shmon Esrei. We find in the halachic system that we not only pray with our mouths, we also pray with our body. The Ramah even quotes that there's a minhag to shakel during prayer, based on the pasuk of Kol Atzmosai Tamarna Hashem Michamocha, that all of our bones, all of the aspects of our body, should praise HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Lulav also then is a form of active prayer, where with the species, with the bounty of our crops, and Baruch Hashem, we live in an era where the overwhelming majority of the Arbat HaMinim are homegrown in Eretz Yisrael. So we praise HaKadosh Baruch Hu with the Minim, recognizing that He is the master of the world, and all of our bounty comes from Him, and that ties into our waving at Hodel Hashem Ki Tov Kilol Chasto in the Hallel. But we also pray to HaKadosh Baruch Hu that He should bless our crops, bless us in all ways throughout the year, protect us from forces of nature that could chas v'shalom lead to illness or to famine, and bring the forces of nature that Hashem is in total control of to bring bounty and to bring health. And that is, of course, the waving of Ona Hashem Hoshiana, to save us. We daven to HaKadosh Baruch Hu not only with our mouths, but also with the minim, recognizing that we are totally dependent on Him, And that's what Shevach teaches us, that He is the master of the world. And we also cry out to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, again, not only with our mouths and with the kavanah of our hearts, but also actively with our hands, waving symbolically the sample set of the great bounty that HaKadosh Baruch Hu provides for us. He ratzon that Hashem should answer our tefillos this Chag and throughout the whole year to bring Yeshua and Refuah to the world as we daven to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, not only orally, but also actively. Chag Sameach to all.
Whoa, whoa.